it doesn't mean it doesn't do anything for him to have the stat lines that he's having, and they're losing. We've seen guys throughout the NBA, throughout the history, be on losing team and put up stats, and we criticize them for that. And they've never had the resume or had the gone to the playoff and played the meaningful basketball as LeBron. So that's just the level of expectations. We're saying he's putting up numbers on a bad team. Well, LeBron James has been to 10 finals. He's won 4 of those. He's played meaningful basketball. And I want to continue to play meaningful basketball. Skip, I believe Tom Brady would be even more disappointed. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Skip, that this year Tom Brady was playing like he played last year and they were 7-8. He would be really frustrated. I think it little Solace is like, yeah, I'm disappointed that we're not winning, but I'm not playing well. LeBron is like, man, look at my stats. I'm 28. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And what have they gotten us? 14 and 21. So he's saying, what do you want me to do? He's like, yeah, I want to play meaningful basketball. I want to be in the playoffs. I want to be able to contend for a championship. But I don't believe that what's assembled around me gives me that opportunity. So, Rob, log on your computer, get on the phone, and make something happen. That man ain't giving up on the season. When have you ever known LeBron to give up on anything? So, look, I get it. Pass to Kareem, achievement. Going to the All-Star game again this year and starting, an achievement. But that's not why he plays. You play to play playoffs. I don't think nobody thought nobody thought anybody was going to break Kareem's record. I think LeBron had a lot of thoughts. Winning a championship, maybe a scoring title, becoming MVP, finals MVP. But I guarantee you, when he wrote down his list, all-time leading scorer. Now, Emmitt Smith's goal was to become the all-time leading rusher because he and I used to hang together. And every time we always say, man, stop. You ain't finna pass no Walter Payton. Sit down. Let's have let's go out here and do, chase a little bit and stop talking crazy. But Skip, that's what he's saying. He said, bro, can y'all give me some help to let me play some meaningful basketball? 3 of the 5 years he's been in L.A., Skip, been nothing. He ain't trying to make it 4. He ain't trying to make it 4 or 6.
Okay, so what's the motivation to say what he said?
Light a fire up on him.
Okay. Light a fire up under Rob Pelinka. Okay, I want to make sure. He
ain't giving up on those. Yeah.
The more I think about this, the worse it gets. Because speaking of Brady, since you brought him up, if after, 5 or 6 games this year when it started to head south, if he had made a concession speech like this that came across like he was giving up on the season, I would have never heard the end of it because you would not have let him off that hook or off that hot seat.
When Brady, what did they do for Brady? They went and got him AB. They went and got him Gronk.
But not this year they have.
But I'm saying they went and got that.
They did that. But this year is this year.
Yeah, and they got him Julio.
Okay.
They got him Julio.
And you were the first to guess it and say, that's not going to help because he's not going to be healthy, right?
That was just basically on his last couple of years.
Okay, but if after, 6, 7 games, he had thrown up his hands and said to the media, hey, I got a rookie tight end I'm trying to throw to, and we can't run the football. And if you looked at my offensive line, it's a shell of what it was a year ago.
You know what I'm saying? Guess what, Skip? If the West, if everybody in the West was like everybody in the NFC South division, I'm like, bro, we sitting pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, you 7-8, Skip, and you win this game, you go to 8-8, you win the division. So if LeBron beat Atlanta, what they are? That means they're 14 and 21. Gets them in nothing.
Okay. It still felt to me like he was giving up on the season, and I believe that's the message that got sent to his teammates. And it's obviously way too early to give up on this season.
Have you seen his teammates play? It seems like they gave up on the season.
I don't know about that. It's just flawed from the start. And you first guessed it, but LeBron didn't because he made a mistake. He pushed hard for Russell Westbrook, who is now the runaway 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
So at least you're getting productivity out of him, but it's not impacting the scoreboard.
Right, yes.
It's not impacting the win-loss record the way it should.
No.
Because they're falling and falling and falling in the standings, and it's starting to look like it's going to be a long way up to even the play-in tournament unless AD can come back full force. And I have no idea what his status is because they are being mysterious and
well, it ain't good.
Well,
they hadn't mentioned anything that he had on court or he did anything basketball related. They haven't mentioned anything like that. So here we are.
Does LeBron know that he's gone for the season? Maybe is that possible?
I don't think LeBron thinks he's gone for the season, but he's gone into January.
Okay, so My issue with this is LeBron has to take some culpability, some of the blame for what's happened. For what's their record now? I've lost track.
13 and 21.
13 and 21.
14 and 21.
14 and 21. Okay. He has to take some culpability, some responsibility for what's happened, because I'm going to say it again. 3-point shooting. He's at 29.7%. That ranks 147 out of 149 in the league. That's horrendous. But guess who ranks 149th?
Right.
Russ. Okay, so you got two of the worst three-point shooters taking by far the most threes on your team. It's not going to work. It's going to make a lot of L's pop up because you can't sustain that. And then look at, he's got 2 more years left on his Laker deal after this one. So he insisted on getting max contracts. You say, well, he earned it. You know, he deserves it. Okay, so he's making 41 this year, then 45, and then 47. It's a lot of money for a guy who says winning is in my DNA, because I'm going to bring it up again. My all-time favorite San Antonio Spur, Tim Duncan, his last 4 years, I just looked this up. He took 9, 10, 10, and 6. By the final year, he wasn't much, but still, the 9, 10, and 10 years, he was still a dominating player. And that second year, they blew your Miami Heat, LeBron's Miami Heat, off the floor by a record finals margin to win in 5 games in 2014, okay? So he's just saying, surround me, go get a bench. And what was your big lament after the 2014 finals? They're too deep. They got 3-point shooters everywhere, right? And they're just raining threes on us, which they did, okay? It's because they had the money to go get a real live bench that was about as good as the starting lineup, okay? You don't. You strapped because Russ is making max money and AD is making max money, and LeBron insists that he wants max money even at 38, going on 39, going on 40.
Well, Steph Curry got max money, Draymond Green got max money, and Klay Thompson got max money, and they won the championship last year. So it can be done.
All right, but they all played at a very high level last year, especially Steph. Especially Steph. He was, to your mind, he was the best player in basketball last year, right?
See what happened?
Okay, but LeBron's not the best player in basketball, and it was just so ironic that he expressed himself after the Heat game, in which I told you they out-rebounded the Heat, they outshot the Heat from the floor, they outshot them from 3. But they turned it over.
And they opened the bakery with all them turnovers.
Okay, and LeBron led the way with 6 turnovers.
Yes.
So he didn't preface all this by saying, a lot of this is on me. He didn't say that. He just said, don't blame me. This was the classic.
That's what he said. You said that.
But that's the interpretation of, that's how it comes across to people of, don't look at me. Well, I'm looking at you because you haven't been that great. You put up good numbers, but there are hidden figures in here. There are too many turnovers, and there are way too many 3-point shots taken and missed. It just hurts because they're empty trips. And if you get enough empty trips in a game, you know what's going to happen. They're going to score on you because your defense has fallen off the face of the earth. And that's what I didn't see coming, because I thought Darvin Ham had, with a defensive mindset, they would be even better on defense, and they're not.
I mean, in order to play defense, you got to have people to play it with. You can have the mindset all you want to.
Well, AD can play defense when he's there, but he's not there.
The thing is, but you look at teams that historically normally play defense, the players, you look at the Steelers, it's not just because they're in Pittsburgh. They got really good defensive players. You look at the Ravens, they got really good defensive players. That's what that's about. It's not about, well, it was Coach Knoll, it was this guy, Mike Tomlin, or Coach Cowher. That's not what it's about. You look at the players. The James Harrison, the Troy Polamalu, and the Ryan Clarks, those guys can play.
Okay, I got it. But you can also have a mindset that can overcome some of it.
You have all the mind you want to. Can you do the job or not? I got, you know what? Ooh, man, I get psyched myself up. But I ain't finna deadlift 1,000 pounds. No matter what my mind says, I can't lift it. So no matter how bad you want, I'm gonna go out here and do it. Either you can or you can't. Now, the more athletic and the more talented you are, the mindset plays a role. But if I ain't got no talent to be able to do it, Skip, my mind, I can't coax myself. I can say, ooh, man, I want to play NBA so bad. Ooh, Lord, you know how bad I want to play. Yeah, Shannon, but I didn't bless with you with that talent.
I got it. But there are nights, because I watch every dribble that your team plays. There are nights where they'll go through stretches and they play high-level defense because it looks like they care. Like they got